To be honest with you, I think we are making gradual but steady progress. And the reason I say so is because the president himself has been driving most of our climate actions. And do not also forget that by the provisions of the law, the president is the chairman of the National Council on Climate Change. When my sister was talking about partnering with the subnationals, we were deliberate in making sure that the subnationals were captured in the climate change law, such that whenever you hold the council meeting, you are expected to have there, by the provision of the law, the chairman of the governors forum. And in addition to that, you also have the president of associations of local governments. That is to ensure that climate change does not happen and does not start and stop at the villa. Because apart from the little grass around the villa, the areas where these things happen are in the villages. So for me, with the president exercising leadership on climate issues, maybe I'll go back to 2023, shortly after he assumed office. In November of that year, when he presented his first budget before the National Assembly, if you go through that budget, you'll see that he devoted about 3 paragraphs talking about actions to be taken and how he has directed his appointees to ensure that when we go to Dubai, that was in 2028, that we should look for ways to attract investments and all that. And then he has followed it up by inaugurating, the Carbon Council, where he appointed the DG of National Council on Climate Change and also the head of the FIRS, that's Federal Inland Revenue, out there in Dubai. And then we have the Evergreen City. We have so many other actions. And of course, recently in Abu Dhabi, he also called on investors from outside to come and participate in our green bond, which is supposed to be collaborated by the National Council on Climate Change in line with the provisions of the law. So for me, we are taking the steps. Yes, it's not been easy, it's not been rosy, because like you have National Council starting off just about 2 or 3 years ago to be able to coordinate everything about climate change in Nigeria, and that's the law, so that you have proper coordination and not for people to be operating in silos. You heard what she said, well, we're doing all these, talking of where we were before the National Council came into place. So for what we thought about, lawmaking requires all hands being on board. But what we thought about, what we dreamed, I think gradually we are getting the shape, is becoming clear, the responsibilities are becoming very well defined and carefully executed. More so when Mr. President is the one driving and showing leadership. So I'm encouraged that the law is being followed.
That's